Okay, I think that first infertility appointment, it's it's a really tricky one because I think people come with so many questions, and I think there's a real risk of information overload, and coming away with not a particularly clear picture. So I tend to try and focus in on the key factors, and explain to the lady or the couple that this is the beginning potentially of a journey. And if you try and, you can't learn all about it in the first visit. I think that the first visit in this context is an information gathering exercise, and there is an awful lot of background information that's absolutely crucial to get that information across and on the record. Because if you miss that opportunity in the first consultation, then sometimes you don't necessarily get the chance to pick up those really important things, in subsequent visits. So I very much concentrate on trying to make sure that we understand the background to the problem really well, and that, ladies, couples are, fully aware of previous issues, of previous investigations, previous treatment they may have had. For me, it's very much about collating that information. So I think for for couples coming through, for ladies coming through, having that information to hand for the clinician is absolutely crucial, because otherwise you tend to be saying, you know what, if it would be possible for you to get hold of that information from this particular hospital, or perhaps in a different country, or these investigations that you have had done, I think all the information that you have that might be pertinent to this journey, I think bring that along. It's much better to bring that information and let the clinical team then decide. Some of it may not be relevant, but let's have a look at it, and let's make that judgment properly, rather than just saying, well, that's probably nothing. So I think I wouldn't worry too much about coming along armed with a million and one questions. I think there are opportunities over a period of time, both with medical staff, nursing staff, perhaps even subsequently embryology staff, to fill in the very many questions and answers and queries that come through. I think the first initial consultation is about establishing war and having an initial plan for where we go beyond that, in terms of initial investigations that haven't been done or may need repeating or whatever. I think there's always this kind of pressure to sort of push on and push on and push on. I think the trouble is, if you just accede to that, you end up with missing things and not getting a complete picture, and therefore perhaps not optimizing the pathway for the patient. So I think it's useful for couples to jot down questions. I think sometimes, in my experience, some of those questions I would back and say, look, that's something we'll pick up subsequently. At this particular point, let's not worry about that. Let's get everything set out at the ground level. Let's make sure we have this information. Let's explore which areas we need to get further information on. Let's build a proper picture that allows us to plan the best possible treatment for you. And equally, I sometimes say, look, in the context of what we know so far, we will be rolling forward with further investigations. But you know what? So far, there's nothing to suggest that you might not get pregnant in this intervening time. But let's not waste this time. Let's use it. Let's get various things ongoing, so that if you're not lucky in the coming months, we're in a position to plan moving forward, really. So I think, yes, come armed with questions, which is perfectly reasonable, but perhaps be willing to understand that all of those questions, it may not be appropriate to answer them at that initial consultation, because there's just so many different issues to cover.